Good evening, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, man shot and injured while playing Ludo in Portmore. A man was shot and injured by unknown assailants a short while ago in Westchester, Portmore, St. Catherine. The injured man was rushed to hospital by residents. The news has gathered that the injured man was among a group of people playing Ludo about 3 p.m. when explosions were reportedly heard in a section of the community known as the Troja Court. The motive for the shooting is unknown. However, residents say they are shocked at the brazenness of the perpetrators. This incident follows last night's triple shooting in Waterford, also in Portmore. 2 elderly residents and a teen were shot and injured during a wake along Portland West Road. The Portmore Criminal Investigations Branch is probing both incidents. As at August 9, the St. Catherine South Police Division recorded 35 murders. This represents a 39% reduction year-on-year. At this point last year, 57 homicides were committed. Woman fined $500,000 for contempt of court in defamation case filed by Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission is reporting that the Supreme Court has granted its application for contempt of court against the woman it has taken to court over alleged defamation remarks made on her social media pages. The commission says Julie Malcolm failed to comply with an earlier court order to remove and cease making the alleged remarks and has since been fined $500,000, which must be paid within 10 days of being served with the order or serve 21 days imprisonment in default of payment. In a statement on Tuesday, the Anti-Corruption Agency outlined that in July 2023, it filed a case against Malcolm seeking damages, aggravated and/or exemplary damages, interest, cost, and such a further or other relief as the court deems just regarding alleged defamatory statements made on various social media platforms about the commission. It added that August it filed an application seeking injunctions requiring Malcolm to remove all such posts and restrain her from making similar remarks. The order was granted that same month by a judge. The commission said Malcolm failed to comply with the court's order, prompting it to return to court in February 2025 to seek contempt of court relief against her. The application, it said, sought several remedies, including a formal declaration of contempt, an acknowledgement of the breach, committal to prison, legal cost, and any further relief deemed appropriate by the court. The Integrity Commission said the court determined that Malcolm had violated the prior order and was therefore in contempt of court. As a consequence, she was fined. The Commission welcomes the court's ruling, which reinforces the significance of upholding compliance with the court directives. This ruling underscores the court's firm stance on enforcing compliance with its directives and the serious consequences of defiance. JLP and the PNP to face off in 3 election debates. Chairman of the Jamaica Debates Commission, Brian Schmidt, says that the ruling Jamaica Labour Party and the opposition People's National Party have agreed to participate in 3 debates ahead of the general election. Schmidt says that the commission today proposed the possible dates for the debates to both parties. He noted that the PNP has already responded and the commission is awaiting a reply from the JLP. He argued that once the dates are agreed upon, they will be shared with the public. The general election is set for Wednesday, September 3. Support for September 1 reopening of schools. 2 education stakeholders groups have given support to the September 1 reopening of schools to avoid an extension of the 2025-2026 academic year while accommodating the general election scheduled for September 3. The Ministry of Education also held consultations with the Electoral Office of Jamaica, and it was decided that there would be further adjustments to the start of the academic year. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon says all schools will be closed on September 2 and 3.
To facilitate the Electoral Office of Jamaica preparing the schools and using them as polling sites. For the remainder of the week, schools have flexibility built in to determine how they will continue their orientation exercises and other administrative activities as needed. All schools will open for face-to-face classes on Monday, September 8, 2025.
President of the National Parent-Teacher Association of Jamaica, Stuart Jacobs, in his organization's response, said that the Ministry of Education had struck the right balance with its decision.
Parents across Jamaica welcome this decision. We understand the importance of our children returning to school on time, and we appreciate the ministry's effort to safeguard the academic calendar. I encourage parents to closely follow their schools during the election week to ensure a smooth transition and to make the most of every opportunity.
Similarly, Tamar Mackenzie, president of the Jamaica Independent Schools Association, says that member schools fully support maintaining the scheduled start of the new school year. She said this will ensure continuity in teaching and learning.
We do believe that this is a sensible, well-balanced approach that minimizes disruption for all stakeholders, our students, teachers, and parents, while allowing schools to fulfill their civic role in the general elections.
Environmental risk from derailed bauxite train low, says NEPA. The National Environment and Planning Agency says its assessment at the site where UC Russell's bauxite train derailed in the Bagua Gorge in St. Catherine on Saturday has found that the risk to the environment is low. The accident, which involved 7 rail carts transporting alumina to the port, saw 3 of the carts toppling over the retaining embankment and 1 partially entering the river. However, NEPA says ground inspectors and the drone imagery confirmed that there was no significant threat to the environment, as alumina spillage was minimal and confined to the base of the embankment. In addition, further evaluation by the agency reportedly found that none of the derailed carts contained hazardous materials. NEPA says there was no sign of oil contamination or fish deaths in the vicinity of the accident, and that the river's condition remained unchanged since Saturday afternoon. The agency says it is currently overseeing the cleanup operation, which is being undertaken by UC Russell to ensure that the surrounding environment remains safe. UC Russell has said its investigative team is probing the case of the derailment, but no completion date has been set. Mining Minister Floyd Green has also directed the Jamaica Bauxite Institute and the Mining Division to conduct a joint probe to determine the causes and recommend safety improvements. Residents living near the crash site have expressed a concern about the maintenance of the track. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.